when Kong really started taking foot and we were moving at a better clip and stuff, I just remember a lot of people being like, someday I want to start my own business, or I would never start my own business even if I had a great idea. It's just too scary. And then it was followed by, you're so lucky, you're building your dream. You're building the dreams you always had. I always thought to myself, like, yeah, but I'm also sort of like building a cell.
Yeah.
Because I'm locking myself into this.
Yeah.
This is the Atomic Souls Podcast.
Oh, I'll try not to curse.
No, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm really bad about
yeah,
it.
Same.
Like, I think my time in Ireland did something to me. So, okay, I didn't know if it was...
one of our mottos is fuck drugs.
Okay,
So,
all right. Well, then I won't worry about it.
B and I tried to say it was inappropriate, and I said, that's our business model. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I remember you.
So,
Yeah, you told me
I
that. Okay, all right. Well, cool. Then I'm good.
We're good. All right. So, welcome to Atomic Souls Podcast.
Well, thank you.
Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Ryan Burkheart, and I'm one of the owners of Kong Screen Printing. We're a company here in Austin, Texas that creates custom apparel and promotional items for businesses and individuals who need merchandise to promote what they're doing.
Yes. And y'all are huge. Like, we got to tour your facility, and would you say it's huge? I thought it was a huge facility.
No, I wouldn't.
It's like, no, it's small.
No, we're what I would consider a medium-sized shop.
Okay. Nice.
A big shop will have, the auto presses that you saw there.
Yeah.
A big shop will be running 18 to 24 of those, and they'll be running them typically on 3 shifts.
Yeah. And that's
24 hours a
wild.
day.
Yeah.
And we're not quite there,
That's so
and I
big.
don't know if I want to get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What kind of growth would that take for y'all to go there?
We would have to more than quadruple in revenue.
Wow.
And probably square footage as well, and employees.
Yeah.
And that seems like a lot to manage.
Yeah.
And our real focus is customer service.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say hand-holding, but we'll go as deep as the customer wants to go.
Right.
And we really want to talk to people about how to do it better.
Yeah.
So I worry that if we got too large, that we might lose our soul.
Yeah.
And not be able to offer that kind of personalized service.
Yeah.
That really makes us a little different.
Right.
Most companies, many companies you'll go to and you'll say, hey, I need my logo on a shirt. And they'll say, sure, I can do that. It's $10, blah, blah. And I'm usually going like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you need your logo on a shirt?
Why?
Maybe we
What's
could do
the
something
purpose?
cooler, you know? So I don't want to lose that.
Right. And that's why I think we connected initially, was at the Austin Chamber, and we have done a lot of shirts and a lot of printing of our own.
Yeah.
With various online, usually overseas printers, and the quality is just trash, and it's not standardized. And so I love the personal input that y'all put and the thought into your products, and helping your clients figure out is this the best idea, and what's the purpose of your items, and what are you using it for? I really appreciate that personal touch.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to know about the business that I'm printing for.
Yeah.
If the goal is to get a logo on a piece of apparel, there's tons of places that can do that, and there's tons of places that'll do it cheaper than I want to do it for. Our team really wants to have their hands in it every step of the way, and we really want to. I guess what I say is I think may have mentioned this to you before, but I really want to connect with the wearer of the shirt.
The customer.
And a lot of shirts are designed for the owner of the business.
Yeah.
They're not designed for the end user, for that audience person.
Yeah.
And they're not always designed to make that person feel a certain way.
Right.
And I think that's pretty important, because your clothing and your apparel are a marker of identity.
Right.
They broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we were diving into that, because we do the same with our marketing company. It's, oh, like, yeah, the owner, you might like this color scheme, but is that what the customer is going to want? Is that what the client's going to vibe with? And so if you're like an HVAC company and it's all like flowers and like fancy looking, it's not going to vibe with the customer. It's going to be, they're going to want someone that's more like kind of mechanical looking and industrial looking. And so it's putting that thought into it is so important.
I usually think of it as parallel lines. So if you're, if the way you treat people, the way your business treats people, and like you all here at Atomic Souls are edgy, right?
Edgy
and
professional.
Edgy professional, yes. Not, I didn't, of course. Edgy, and you own that, and you're proud of that, right? So whatever you're wearing as a uniform, or you're giving to your clients as a thank you, and to let them know that they're now on the same team as you, it has to mirror that. If it comes off a little bit different, if it comes off too corporate, or if it comes off too frilly, or what have you, people can smell a phony a mile away. Yeah. Especially now.
Yes. It's so easy now.
And then it's subtle, but I think it can start to signal inconsistency. Like, they're acting this way towards me, and I'm getting this feeling from the experience of being at the business. Right. But then their clothing that they're selling me, giving me, whatever, is telling me something different. So who are they? Right. And most people who own businesses can tell you quite clearly who they are and what they like. Right. But if you ask them to do that for their business, it's very hard. Right. And so we like to pull that out of people. I always joke that the scariest design somebody could ask me to do is one for Kong screen printing. Like, I'd pull my hair out over that one, right?
I have no idea.
Because I'm in the soup.
Yeah.
Right. But other people, when they tell me what they do and I can understand it and understand their audience, I love that challenge. And I'm like, I want to design this shirt because I want to help you all go a little bit further than just like putting Atomic Souls on a t-shirt, let's say. Yeah. Yeah.
The irony is Mike has an Atomic Soul shirt on right now.
I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Atomic Soul on it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the logo shirt.
You're telling me I'm ugly?
No, you are not that. Yeah. You are a handsome man.
Well, we have one and that's like kind of what you're describing that the clients all want. We have one that says "fuck drugs" on the front and the back, and the clients are begging, like, we need to get an order in with you, because they're begging for them.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're begging for them? I'm curious.
Because nobody is willing to go that edgy with it, even though that's how the community talks.
Yeah. It's edgy. It's a nice quality shirt too, so it has that like professional look to it. It's very well done. But the edginess, and they vibe with it. Like, that's what they say. And that's why that was a motto that kind of stuck with us.
When we came out with it, people were telling us, oh, I wouldn't put that online. Like, you're going to get a lot of flack for that. And we did. But we got it from, like, our parents, from, our
non-target demographic.
Community. We don't care what their opinion is. We're trying to target a very specific demographic. This is what they vibe with. And it was very apparent because it was an immediate success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would even, based upon what you're telling
I'd
me,
love to see your take on taking it further.
It's because it's authentic. It's aspirational. Yeah. I'm sure that your clients who buy that shirt, I'm sure some of them have struggles. Maybe they're not always able to stay sober, and I'm sober, and it's been a journey for me. So I can respect that because it has authenticity, and really that authenticness, because when they put that shirt on, it's no longer your voice. It's their voice. They're saying, fuck drugs. And they're saying, this is how I feel. And you've given them, by making that piece, as simple as it is, you've given them a way to put that vocalization in the world passively. They can walk around and wear this, and people know, like, this person believes in something.
Right.
It's
Right.
polarizing for sure, but in a good way. That's kind of what you said. Like if you have to make something for Kong, that's the hardest thing for you to do.
Absolutely.
That's our thought process
It's
too.
been so hard.
Like
Yeah.
we'll walk through the airport. We were headed to Vegas the other day, and Benice had the fuck drug shirt on, and I could see couples coming by and like, oh, I can't believe somebody would wear that, and they were just completely disgusted
You
by
get
it.
one
And
view
then-
or the other view.
Yeah.
There's no in the middle.
Yeah, but then we also had people coming up in tears like, thank you so much for having the bravery to wear that.
Mhm.
And it's 2 words on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it means that much to people. And that's kind of been the case with everything. We were talking about this other day with a couple of topics that we were talking about. You have to be willing to put your opinion out there, whether people are going to like it or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It
It
is
is,
so hard,
and it's
right?
scary.
It's cancel culture life right now. So
Yeah, the culture is weird right now, and that can be difficult. And if you're a business, also, my business isn't edgy. I
Yeah.
don't think that's our personality.
you are cool. Yeah.
Oh well, that's nice of you to
Pretty cool.
say.
Yeah.
I think we are helpful,
Yeah.
and I also think that we're creative,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not. We're not convinced that our creativity is the right way to go about it. We really need to collaborate with our clients to make sure that it is.
Yeah.
And so that prohibits us from just saying like, oh, well, you're not, we're not snobby about it is
Yeah.
what I'm driving
Yeah.
at. No. We know what we're doing. Let us do it. Right. That's not really how we do things.
Right.
We really are more interested in being that caring collaborator. And, sometimes I almost feel like I'm doing therapy myself. I'm not a therapist, but sometimes I feel like I'm asking people lots and lots of questions before I say anything about what direction maybe we could go.
Right. Yeah, you got to dig into it. Speaking of like that and like y'all's company culture, can we like rewind it? Y'all have been in company for 15 years?
15 years in January 2026.
Yes.
Yes.
How were like the early days? Like, how has your company culture like shifted over the years, or like what's been the core values that have stuck?
In the early days, it was Spartan. I would definitely say that. So a little bit of background when we started. I was a professor of art for 10 years.
That's dope.
I ran a nonprofit art publishing press called Flying Horse Editions, and really was producing fine art prints and books that were going into major collections in the country as well as private collections.
Nice.
And that's where I kind of caught the entrepreneurial bug.
Mm-hmm.
That nonprofit had really done $9,000-$10,000 a year, pretty steady. And then after 8 years of doing it, I was bringing in over $250,000 annually.
Nice.
And I was kind of like, hey, I have an art degree. I have no business training. So, but I liked it, So I got tired of the politics in academia.
Yeah.
It is still my favorite contact sport, but I'm glad I'm not there anymore. And, kind of was lost for a couple years. I did freelance design. I worked for the U.S. Census Bureau, which was a trip.
Yeah.
I'm not a bureaucrat. And I just was lost and kind of bumped around between Florida, North Carolina, and then came back to Texas. Bruce Braden, who's my business partner, was in middle management at Rackspace.
Okay.
And he had printed T-shirts in college.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm tired of sitting behind a desk. I want to do something.
Yeah.
I want to work with my hands. So he quit Rackspace. He bought I think it was $4,000, $5,000 worth of used equipment
Nice.
from somebody on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Got this little tiny space. And when we moved back to Austin, my wife and I was printing out of my garage.
Yeah.
Well, I only knew how to print on paper. I'd been printing at that time for maybe 18 years, and I'd never printed a T-shirt.
It's very different.
It's incredibly different. It's not even
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, it's not even the same ballpark.
That's wild.
You know, I can't remember if it was him or me. It was probably me, but one of us took a job printing textiles or paper, and we didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And we had met each other through the Austin Screen Printing Co-op,
Nice.
which was really a cool thing here in town that helped printers and fostered learning about the process of screen printing.
That's fun.
And one of us was like, can you help me print my job? Because I don't know how to print that thing.
I signed up for a job I don't know how to do.
Yeah, and it's kind of under a deadline, so we got to knock it out, you know. And we just worked well together, you know. And so at a certain point after doing that, sort of ad hoc, maybe 6 months or so, we formalized a relationship.
Nice.
And
will you be my boyfriend?
you know, I joke that I am a bigamist because I feel like I'm married to Bruce.
Oh yeah,
and I'm married to my wife.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a relationship.
it's a deep relationship. So, you know, it's kind of funny because when we started, we didn't really. All we knew was that we wanted to print.
Yeah, same mission.
Yeah, and in the early days, we just thought. You know, I've always been an educator and have thought of myself that way. I still think of myself that way. I don't even think of myself as a business person usually. So I'm really able to translate aesthetic ideas into common vernacular. Yeah,
that's important.
And not overwhelm people with a bunch of jargon or inside baseball.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested in like the potential energy of what we can do than, you know,
being a know-it-all.
Yes. And
I get that a lot because coming from a therapist background and then into business, you also have to translate a lot to people and be like, this is what I mean. Like we did a filming yesterday or the day before, and I said something like they're getting high, like the clinical version of getting high. And he was like, what did you just say? Medically induced disassociation.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
It's like getting high.
Blast it.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So you're more like in the education mindset of like, how do I translate this to keep the energy going?
Yeah. And also like I'm a additive thinker. So, you know, if somebody gives me an idea to start with, it doesn't take much energy for me to just go to outer space with it.
I love that wordage.
We could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And how about that? And Bruce is not that way.
Yeah.
Bruce is very practical. He's much more disciplined than I am.
He's the rock, you're the balloon.
Absolutely. 100%. And he keeps me grounded and also is like, gives me boundaries. Like, it's a nice idea. Yeah. We can't do that.
Right.
So
sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar. I'm the visionary and Mike is the rock.
you have to have both of those pieces.
Yeah, it works well together.
Yeah. And I don't know how you all feel about it, but my joke is that I know everything about Kong that Bruce doesn't know, and he knows everything about Kong that I don't know.
Yeah.
That's 100%
That's
accurate.
fair.
That's what we were talking about
Yeah.
the other day when we were filming that, is she was talking me through like the different types of therapy that we do. We've been doing this for 5 years.
He has no idea what
I have
therapy
no idea what any of that is. What I know is like, this is what people search when they're looking for therapy. And this is how you target them with SEO. And this is how you target them with an ad campaign. I don't know what those words mean. I just know they're the buzzwords that people are searching.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it takes both of those things.
Yeah.
And when I was doing Flying Horse Editions, and I did it all by myself. I printed everything. I went out and raised the money. I put together all of the events. I made sure all of the members of the press were satisfied because they were the ones who were paying for everything.
Yeah.
I took care of the artists that flew in to make the projects. I did it all.
Yeah.
And when I left, I was frankly pretty burnt out.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I also sacrificed my own art career to make that happen, which was my own damn fault. But I did it because I felt like it was an important thing to do. And I don't regret it in any stretch. But I just was depleted
Yeah.
because I had put everything into it. And
What helped you get out of that? How long did it take you, and what helped you?
it took me like 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm not a very goal-oriented person. That doesn't really drive me.
Yeah.
The point for me is the excitement of what's next.
Yeah.
And so,
Y'all are so similar in that. 'Cause
yeah,
I feel like maybe that's just kind
A
of part
visionary
of being a dreamer
type.
or a visionary
Mhm.
is you're not goal oriented. You're just constantly in the clouds thinking of stuff. 'Cause that's how Rachel is.
Yeah.
And then I have to quantify what the tangible goal is going to be that's associated with
Put
that.
this on paper. Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely that way. And I mean, I respect goals, and now I've learned over time to make them for myself
Sure.
and to strive for them.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not something I ever thought about as an
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
Because that's who I was first, right? Was an artist. So that's how I got through it. I drew.
Yeah. Just get back
I
into
just
it.
sat down and I drew and I
Yeah.
drew and I drew
Yeah.
and I beat myself up a lot. I had a negative interaction at the university when I left. And I had really built that business
Yeah.
up and built out a new studio space, bought new equipment. We were printing screen print, letterpress, etching, wood cut. We had a bookbinding facility.
Wow.
And when I left, I had no printing press.
Oh, yeah.
And I made myself a promise at the time. I was like, I will never, ever let anybody else own the press.
Mm-hmm.
If I own a press, I can feed myself. I can
Yeah.
feed my family.
Yeah.
So like, I have a feeling I'm paranoid enough about it.
It's a good lesson to learn. We
Yeah.
did the same with having all our eggs in one basket with like income streams as well. Like with therapy, and be like, oh, we're contracted with this facility, and then we just got dependent on it, and then that went away, and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So like that's a huge lesson to learn. We see a lot of people that struggle with that in business, where they like, oh yeah, I got this grant, or I got this whatever, and it's like, do other stuff too. Like keep hustling, because you need to have diversity of income, or own it yourself, do it yourself, so that you're not dependent on anyone else's.
Yeah.
Huge life lesson, business lesson.
It was a big lesson. And it also was humbling.
Yeah.
Because I've always sort of, I grew up in a very working class environment. Do not have a lot of family resources, those kinds of things. So my attitude was always like, well, since I don't have the resources, all I got is my hands and a work ethic.
Yeah.
So if I want to do it, I'm just going to have to outwork everybody who's maybe starting a little further down the line than I am, because they do have those resources.
Right. But it's possible still. You still had that hope that it was doable. It's just going to take hard work.
I never had a doubt.
Yeah.
It was just, I just knew it was just work, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of people that I've noticed, myself included back in the day, was like, I can't do this. I don't know enough about it. Like, I don't have a business degree, you know, like kind of similar. It's like, I can't be a business owner. Like, I don't know how to do this. But really, it's over the years come down to just doing it, just learning, being open to like doing more than anyone else. And so, yeah, that's good to hear that that's your experience as well. And,
oh, yeah.
relate to that a lot.
I still feel like a phony when it comes to being a business person per se, just because I don't even think I'm half the time that I'm running a business.
Yeah.
I think that I'm like a, facilitator and a collaborator, and the byproduct of that is the business.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
That's a beautiful explanation.
Yeah, I feel like our marketing company
thanks.
is similar to that. Because the marketing company we collaborate as well heavily with clients.
You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that one kind of feels more like that as well.
Yeah, I think that is, I always kind of joke that like people think that they're paying us to print t-shirts or make baseball caps or something like that. But really what they're paying us for is taking the time to understand what they're doing, to try to help them do it better, and then to pay attention to make sure that those things that are fabricated hold up over time.
Yeah.
I know on paper on an invoice it looks like you're paying for a t-shirt, but that's not really it for me.
Yeah.
You're paying for all my failures and all of Bruce's failures and all the failures of our team over the last 15 years that have allowed us to get to this point where we don't fail as much or very often. And if we do fail, we fix it.
Right.
You know?
Very important to like acknowledge like, hey, we're human. It's going to fail.
Oh, yeah.
It might fail. We'll just have to fix it and figure it out together.
Well, printing, you know, most people when they think of printing, they think of like clicking a mouse and there's a black box on their desk that spits out a piece of paper, right? And that is printing. That is printing. But what the kind of printing we do is very hands-on, and it is more like a manufacturing process. Yeah. And, you know, every shirt that gets loaded onto the press is done by hand. You've got 3 sets of eyes quality checking everything before it goes on the press, when it's on the press, and when it comes off the press. And it's very physical work. Yeah. It will mess up your back. It'll mess up your hips. It'll mess up your knees. Ask me how I know. You know, it's a very physical kind of process, but people don't know that. Yeah. So I have a feeling that a lot of our customers, when they initially contact us, they think that we just like click a button and out comes 100 t-shirts and off they go, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Till we toured. Yeah, I did too.
I mean, my brain was exploding the whole time we were touring the other day.
Yeah.
And to me, I come from like a very blue collar working class background as well. So just like mechanical process to me is a beautiful thing. And so I'm watching it happen. I'm just like, man, I can just sit here and watch this all day.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It is magical.
Yeah.
It's even to me still. It really is.
Right.
And, you know, screen printing is a funny thing. And all printing is a funny thing. But screen printing in particular, for me, is a funny thing because you are never further than a foot away from something that has been screen printed in your daily life.
Yeah.
The graphics on your microphone, screen printed. The SIM cards and the mechanics inside your cell phone, screen printed. You're wearing a screen printed shirt. You have a screen printed shirt on, right? Yeah. It's everywhere. This screen printed, you know. So it's kind of an interesting thing because it's so common that when people actually see it being done, like you described, they're like, whoa, you know? Right. And I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like an expectation. Like you just expect it to be there. You don't ever think about the process. Like internet. If you start diving into it, it's like, how the heck does this message get overseas, wherever, and instantly you just expect it to happen. You don't think about there's cables running across the ocean floor and there's cell towers that ping each other and they kind of daisy chain across America. Nobody thinks about that type of stuff. And
I thought it was tubes. I thought there were tubes that. I'm teasing.
Tubes.
Yeah, I mean that is magic to me. That you know, that is magic.
I feel like everything these days is magic though when you start diving into it. Like just recording this podcast right now, that camera is picking up that data and placing all those pixels in perfect formation to create that image. You know, you're talking to that mic's making an electrical signal that goes over here to this board, and that board converts it back to audio. It's just everything is magic when you start diving into it in the day that we live in.
Absolutely.
That, my friends, is called mindfulness.
Oh, there we go. And the loop is tied.
Yeah. Being mindful. Yeah, it is. It's, well, I think that it's important to stay like curious and mindful like that because you can just get lost in being a business owner and doing all the like high level admin stuff. How would you say that or like what helps you stay like in the present and like in the weeds in a good way? Because you sound like you're still curious and still like super involved in like the day to day and like it brings you a lot of joy.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% involved in the day to day, and so is Bruce. We're very active. I don't know. When Kong really started taking foot and we were moving at a better clip and stuff, I just remember a lot of people being like, oh man. And usually it was followed by something like, someday I want to start my own business, or I would never start my own business even if I had a great idea. It's just too scary.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then it was followed by, you're so lucky, you're building your dream. You're building the dreams you always had. You're making it happen.
Yeah.
And I always thought to myself, like, yeah, but I'm also sort of like building a cell
Yeah.
because I'm locking myself into this,
Yeah.
and it will be tied to me forever.
Yeah.
And it will be a weight. So you got to build it right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to be a prison, or if it would be a prison, I knew.
It can be.
But I
quickly.
wanted it to be my prison.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be something that I was comfortable living in. Because if you build it wrong,
Yeah.
then you wind up being weighed down. So, yeah, you are constructing your dream, but
Yeah.
you're also sort of building your own boundaries.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of keep my eye on the ball, or try to. I mean, I get lost all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, nor like anyone else, I guess, and there are times where I'm like, why am I doing all this again? But that happens less and less the further I go.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say like systems or like the right hires people, like what has helped you like kind of build the place that's comfortable for you, that, you have the structures, you have the cell, but like also it's enjoyable. Like what's that balance for you if you had to like kind of break it down a little bit?
Well, having people who just care. Hiring was very difficult.
Yeah.
And when we first did it, we messed up a lot.
Yeah.
Because we would look at resumes and we would hire based upon experience. And we were looking for people who did it the way we did it. But we also were kind of stubborn.
Yeah.
So nobody did it the way we did it. And nobody could, right?
Nobody's good enough.
And well, there was some of that. I mean, and so finally it kind of dawned on us that you can teach anyone who wants to learn how to print, or wants to learn how to help customers, or do any of the roles at our business.
Yeah.
We can teach them how to do that. The one thing I cannot teach someone to do is to care.
Yeah.
So that's what I look for.
Yeah.
If somebody comes through the door and they've got 20 years experience and they're bitter and pissed off all the time and they hate their life, they're not going to work out as much as the person who's like, I just want to be here and learn.
Right. I'll do anything.
Yeah. And so once we realized that and started looking for that and hiring for attitude as opposed to experience, everything got a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know about Bruce. I couldn't speak for him, but for me, being an artist in my studio for a long time, I spent a lot of time alone.
Yeah.
A lot of time alone, and I did everything.
Yeah.
So the thought of like somebody else doing something, it kind of like triggered this insecurity, this working class insecurity in me. Like, am I being lazy by letting someone else do that?
Yeah.
Am I, maybe a little bit of control freak, like, are they going to do it as good as I do it?
It feels weird.
It was very uncomfortable.
It's hard to hand stuff off. It's so hard. Yeah.
So the big thing that I had to learn in business was kind of the 80-20 rule when it comes to aptitude, is that I don't need somebody to do it 100% what I would do. I need them to do 80% of what I would do. And I need to design the business around the fact that I'm going to expect 80% aptitude, not 100% aptitude. And then like hiring, that's what we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
We do not hire resumes. We hire culture. Are you going to be a culture fit here?
Yeah.
We can teach you the mission. We can't teach you to vibe with our culture.
Correct.
Yeah, because we get similar, like highly qualified across the board. There's some that aren't qualified, but through the ones that are qualified, we look at, okay, come in person. Okay, come for a second interview, and we really feel the vibe out. And like, does your personal mission align with ours? Do you have a work ethic? Because you can't teach work ethic, like you're saying, like caring. You can't teach caring, and nobody's going to care as much as the owners or the founders. And so you kind of have to look at that, like, okay, do you care enough to like carry our mission, and does your personal mission align with ours? Because if it doesn't, if like, because we're all about like helping people. And if you're about just making money, then like it's not going to work here.
Yeah.
We're a startup still, like it's not going to work. And so just finding that balance and communicating that to like people that are potential hires. It's like, hey, we love your vibe, we love this or that, but like we cannot pay you what like this big place is paying you, this big corporate place. And so it's like their decision at the end of the day, like, hey, is it a good fit for you or not? Like there is potential for growth here, but yeah, right now it's slim.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's the same way for us. I mean, we are a little tiny manufacturing facility is what we are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And, you know, we definitely try to take care of our employees as much as we possibly can. But at the end of the day, you know, what we ultimately wind up making is a commodity.
Yeah.
And, that does put limitations on our little tiny factory sometimes.
Can you tell us a little more about like the dealing with the jail cell vibe? Because that was something I struggle with tremendously that I think a lot of people don't think about is, yeah, you're pursuing a dream, but also you're handcuffing yourself to that dream. And like for me, once we started kind of getting to the points where we had, 15, 20 employees, I started freaking out because I'm like, all these people are dependent on me, and I'm not just putting food on my table. I'm putting food on all those tables. And if I don't get it right, none of us eat. And that stressed me out tremendously in the early days.
Yeah.
That would be very stressful. I don't think about it quite like that. I think if I did, I'd freak out too.
He's now freaking out.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's so right.
No, it's correct. But that's where Bruce is such an amazing partner, because anytime I would get that type of anxiety or feeling like that, he would just keep our head down and do good work.
Yeah.
Let's just do good work.
Just
and
keep going.
I kind of look at things like the reward for doing good work is more work.
Right.
The reward for doing bad work is less work.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as we were getting more work and it was continuing to grow and people wanted to do more with us, then I knew that the quality was there, and I knew we were giving them something they weren't getting elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm fine being behind the scenes. A lot of I love it when people like have us design something, help them out. I love helping them out.
Yeah.
And then they get it and they go back to their studio or whatever and they put it on Instagram and they go, look at this new thing we made. And I'm thinking like, well, we did too. We helped you, And it's not that I want that credit or anything, but I just realize what a collaborative endeavor that is.
Yeah.
But people take pride in that, But to your point, like building a cell, everything that you commit yourself to, everything, a marriage, children, a business, your job, if you don't own a business, it doesn't matter. Learning to be a professional Frisbee thrower, if you commit that to that endeavor, well, guess what? You just volunteered to go into your own cell.
Yeah.
We all make our own prisons
Yeah.
of some degree or another. It's just, can you make a prison that you can live in? And could we fail? Yeah. Can we still fail? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, that idea of like, I will never not own a press again gives me this like strange confidence. Like even if Kong fell apart tomorrow for whatever reason and everything, if I owned a printing press, I'd figure it out.
Yeah.
I'd figure it out. Just because I have that confidence, when I went to college in art school, everybody was like 1990s, right? I graduated in 1996.
Wow.
And So in art school at the time, it was like the computer was just coming into the classroom. There was Adobe fonts and Photoshop and all of this stuff. And I can't tell you how many professors I had say like, why are you learning to paint? Why are you learning to print? This stuff's gone, man. The future is here.
Wow.
And it's not that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, but why is it still all around me then?
Right.
Why do I still see it everywhere?
Yeah.
So printing is an aggregate. Like if you look at all printing, it's one of the top 5 businesses on the planet. I mean, think about everything that you, like if you just take your arms and stick them out and make a circle and then take everything that's in that sphere and look around, it's all printed.
Yeah.
The pattern on that rug is probably printed. You know, all of these books here, your hats over here, these things right in here that are laser cut, it comes from a printing matrix.
Yeah.
It's not a print in the sense of what I do, but it is to me.
Yeah.
It's a repeatable matrix.
Yeah.
Do those say fuck you? What do those say?
Fuck.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a jar of fuck.
That is our jar of fuck.
Oh,
so
that's
we
all right.
can give a fuck. When
I love it.
We'll give
Brilliant.
you a fuck.
So, I just I was told that it was dead and it was going to, the future was here and computers were going to replace everything.
Yeah.
I just didn't buy it.
Right.
Because it's just too much volume to replace.
Yeah.
Right. So I just have that confidence because I don't see people not. In fact, I see more and more. I bet you see this with the branding part of your business and the marketing component because there's this hyper acceleration of branding.
Yeah.
Smaller brands, especially here in Austin, I feel, but in a lot of cities, smaller brands are now approaching their branding like mid-sized to larger brands. So, you'll get a company that's like 10 people and they're like, we got to get a brand book.
Right.
We got to get our house in order and everything so we know what our Pantone colors are or what have you. And so if anything, I see an escalation of that and more of a need for it.
We're seeing an escalation in the value of human touch a lot too.
Yeah.
So especially like when you get into just the marketing side of things, there's just so much content that's being mass produced and everybody knows it's being mass produced by AI that when they find those like subtleties of imperfection, it almost makes it more beautiful because they know a human did this.
Yeah.
I would agree with you 100%. I don't know that part, like the technology part. I guess maybe I'm fortunate because when I went to college, I was just like, back then it was, Photoshop. Well, you don't need to know how to draw anymore. There's Photoshop.
Yeah.
You can make a unicorn if you want to, right? And so I guess since I was 20 years old, I've been told that technology was going to spoil it all.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing that again with AI.
Yeah.
I think it's just another tool.
It's another tool. I think people are like similar to your experience with Photoshop, with all your professors saying like, oh, you don't have to do this or that. People are giving AI too much credit now. And it really is just a tool. Like it doesn't, people are really coming full circle right now is what we're seeing is they want more of the human touch. They want the human design. Because AI is just, it's not perfect. And
I think Photoshop's a perfect example of that. So I have a good friend that I grew up with, my buddy Thomas. He's an artist, very similar to you. Y'all would vibe so much.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We need to get him over.
But like I'm pretty fluent in Photoshop. But when he does something, when I do something, there's a vast difference because he is truly an artist at heart. And the resolution of the image in his head that he's putting out there, I'm not capable of that. I don't have that level of artistic design. I know how to use the tool. I know how to get it, good enough for corporate work. Very huge difference between that and actual artistic element.
Well, I think that's just experience. I have a very good friend, Matt Wright Steele, who's a photographer, a professional photographer, and a really damn good one. And we talk about this a lot, because he makes pictures and especially photography with Photoshop, AI, all of that stuff. But he has a really interesting idea. This is not my idea, but it's his, but it's a very interesting one, whereby in the future, I love that, in the future, people who have experience with the analog and people who have experience in a certain medium, let's take photography, right?
Yeah.
So let's use AI as a prompt in a marketing sphere. So I'm marketing a new high-end purse. I need a model holding the purse, and I want it in New York City. And no, I don't want a brunette. I want a blonde. I want this, I want that, I want the other and stuff. Well, somebody who doesn't have experience can take it that far. They can tell it, I want this look, this kind of person. I want the purse this way, so on and so forth. But somebody who does have experience can be like, I would like the person in New York City at 4:30 in the afternoon using an f2 lens, shot at 35 millimeters. I would like to have it be before the winter solstice, but after the equinox in the fall, so that I get that really soft light that you get at that time of year. I mean, they're going to know all of those nuances, right? Yeah. Just like if you talk to somebody who shoots film, like movies, right? They're going to be like, oh yeah, we need a 40-watt bulb that we drop down to here and we put a film over it. And they know all of those technical aspects. Mm-hmm. So he's sort of like said to me that he feels like, well, maybe I won't have a job like where I click a button anymore, but I'll be able to talk AI through making a picture at the level that I would make a picture using the equipment. Yeah. And so like he and I have kind of imagined this world where like artists become like hands-off art directors. But
very niche art directors.
But artists are just messy people. I mean, all people are messy, but artists are really messy, and they can't help but touch it. Yeah. Like if they do it, there's a certain point where they just got to get in there and do a little something. Yeah. And they're not afraid to do that and mess it up. Yeah. No, they're not afraid to mess it up. Yeah. Like I think that's one of the luxuries of being an artist. Yeah. Like you can't, if you're an artist and you're making something creative, you can't mess it up.
There's no failure.
There is no failure. Yeah. I mean, there's results that you don't like, or there's results that you don't want, or there's results that don't achieve the level of expertise or perfection or aesthetic that you're going for. But then you push that one aside and you start a new one.
Yeah. I think that's, I'm hearing like you take business approach, like you take art, like there's no failure. There's just like a pivot.
Yeah. I mean, I read a really influential book. I wrote my graduate thesis on it. And it's an old book and the language is probably a little archaic, but worth a read. And it's by a guy named James P. Carse. And the book is called Finite and Infinite Games. Mm. And it's really interesting book because it's almost like a philosophical treatise. And it just, each chapter is basically 2 sentences. So it's like, let's suppose there are 2 types of games, finite and infinite. What makes a finite game? Well, you have to have a start and you have to have an end. Yeah. You have to have a winner, you have to have a loser. What is the point of a finite game? To win. Yeah. Right? But if you look at infinite games, they're a totally different thing. Yeah. If you're playing an infinite game, the whole point of the game is to keep the game going.
Just get better. Yeah.
No. To keep the game going. You don't want the game to stop. Right? Yeah. So this is like a kid, like a little kid, they're like I love playing games with my kids where they're like, the rules are made up on the fly. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, no, you can't throw it using your left hand. Okay, all right. I'll only throw it using my right hand. All right. Oh, you can't throw it from over there. Yeah. You're out of bounds. You got to come over here. Sure. Well, what they're doing is they're trying to kind of like create a finite game on the fly, and that's why they're making those rules up. Also, they don't have a full frontal lobe yet, but whatever. And so this book just left this huge impression on me.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't take things seriously, but I just kind of thought, well, life is finite, right?
Yeah.
Start, finish. We all know that.
Yeah.
But in that middle squishy part and everything like that, what if the whole goal is just to keep yourself going as opposed to win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I'm not
That's
really
huge.
a goal-oriented person.
Yeah.
Because that would make it finite.
That would make it finite.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I find that is just limiting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, stop.
Yeah. I like that person.
Am I making sense? Or?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah. No,
think
it's like I'm digesting it.
I think it's a very artist perspective. It's a beautiful perspective.
Yeah,
Because I
I
think
like
when you
it.
make things finite and there is the goal, then there's also the opportunity to fail at that goal.
Yeah.
And the failure becomes very quantified and like a metric you hold against yourself. I think that's the big issue we have with social media right now, where people compare themselves to others and they make these finite goals that they're not achieving within their head. And the reality is it's a bunch of, curated images of people's life, not their actual life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's coming up for me is two things. The balance of, this is a very therapy mind going now.
I love it.
The balance of dialectical behavior therapy is being able to hold space for two opposites. And so there are things in your control and there are lots of things not in your control. It's the balance of change and acceptance. And so what can I change? What am I in control of? And what can I accept? And so you're leaning more into I know I will always have my work ethic and I will always have my print press, which is stuff that I can change and I'm in control of. Acceptance of everything else is changing and modifiable and will change and is out of my control. And so you're really kind of in that balance of, they call it wise mind, where you can balance those two of
Isn't that also Lacanian thinking? Where
is it? Nothing is new. It's probably similar.
two things that are supposedly in conflict can be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely feel that way. I'll give you a really good example that is something I figured out because of process, not because I'm smart. Sometimes when I was in my studio, I would start a painting or a drawing, right? And I'd set it up and I'd get it going. I'd pick my size of paper or whatever, and I'd get going on it. And inevitably, I got to a point where I stuck, right? And then one of two things was going to happen. I either kind of did something risky and it got great, or I fucked it up.
Right.
So then it dawned on me, I was like, you know what I'm doing wrong? I'm starting a painting. So instead of doing that, I'm going to start 50 paintings at the same time. So I would put up 50 sheets of paper on my studio wall, and I just start drawing on one, and then I move over to the next one and I keep drawing. I move over to the next one and keep drawing. And I'd get them all kind of going at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't anymore about finishing them. So I'd walk around with this little bundle of 50 drawings in this little satchel thing I had. And I just shuffle them like cards. And I go, I feel like adding this to this one here.
Yeah.
So I've got drawings that have been in progress for 20 years. And they're not done. And I don't really care if they ever are.
Yeah.
That's not really the point.
Yeah.
But once I realized that I could focus not just on the object, I'm trying to finish this drawing, I need to get it done, goal, right? Objective, right?
Yes.
But hey, my brain is smart enough to look at and prioritize things in the periphery and to pull from the periphery and use them on that thing, or to tell me to stop working on that thing and get another thing and start pulling on that.
Yeah.
And that totally changed my life, because I realized like, oh wow, this is perfect for me and my, whatever that is in my personality. That I don't have to focus on making one thing perfect.
Yeah.
That I could focus on 50 things at the same time. And in a funny way, like, pictures are a funny thing. And they're even a funnier thing now because of the internet, the computers we have in our pockets, all of that sort of stuff. I studied pictures. I studied the meaning of pictures. I studied the composition of pictures, the mechanisms for putting them together, the medium for putting them together. But most people don't.
Yeah.
But I remember, when I told my parents I was going to art school, my mom looked me dead in the eye and she said, "Oh my God, he's going to be poor." Yes. And my dad looked over and said, "Oh my God, he's gay." And I was like, "Told you, working class, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man." But I think about that now and I'm just like, I walk around and I see people and they're doing this all day long. You go downtown. Yep. Just what are they doing? Scrolling through pictures.
Yeah.
Just looking at pictures, whatever the algorithm feeds them.
Yeah.
And we are consumed by images.
Yeah, we're consumers. Yeah.
And we consume them and they consume us.
Yeah.
I think it's a two-way street. And if you don't learn how to understand pictures, then you just sort of passively get fed. So it's really ironic to me because I feel like we live in a culture where most of us aren't trained to look at pictures and understand them and take them apart and know how they function. Yet at no other time in our history have so many images been produced.
Yeah.
Like I read something, it was like almost like 1 billion pictures a day are taken on an iPhone.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
Right? So in a way, I talked to my mom recently and I brought that story up to her and I was like, when I studied pictures back in school and went to art school, how you and Dad said those things and, oh yeah, and she was like, "Well, you didn't turn out so bad." And I'm like, "I know, thanks, Mom." But at the same time, it's like pictures, they're everywhere. We're saturated with them. So I don't know if that why, but I feel like I went into the perfect line of work.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've made it work for you is what I'm hearing too. Like instead of just looking at it one way, like you said, like one painting, let me do 50 paintings. Instead of just one picture, let me look at billions of pictures.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out like just, the flow of things instead of just one thing.
Well, it's always bigger, right? It's always bigger than you think it is. And maybe this goes back a little bit to being in your own cell. I remember I had a friend in art school and she said, we were talking about success. And now this is pre-internet, right? Okay. So, and she said, "Oh, wouldn't it be great? Like if we got some of our paintings in like the Chicago Art Institute or, like the Museum of Modern Art in New York.
Yeah.
We would be successful then." And I said, "Yeah, I think I'd rather have my paintings in a book." And she's like, "A book?" I was like, "Oh yeah, way more. Because if it's at the Museum of Modern Art, how many people see that picture a day?
Yeah.
Right.
If it's in a book,
and
there's multiples of those books, it's here forever."
Yeah.
That's scalable. Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
and then the internet happens and I'm like, maybe I was feeling something there,
I hated MoMA, by the way.
We did. He just.
Why didn't you like it?
Not a
Some
fan.
of it was just bullshit. Like we walked in and
He hated it.
there's a bucket of nails sitting on a chair, and they're like, "This is a $100,000 piece of art." I'm like, "Brother, I got that in my garage for free. Like, how is this art?" Then there was a few things that I'm like, "Man, this is beautiful." And I could I'm not an artist, but like we walked in one room, he's got a bunch of light bulbs hanging from the ceiling. That's where light bulbs belong. I don't understand how this is art.
Is
I
it the
did.
value that? Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was meaning to take him to the Met,
Uh-huh.
and I accidentally booked the MoMA instead.
Very different experiences.
Very different. I think he would have really liked the Met
Yeah.
because it's like, stuff he's heard of. And we walked into MoMA and he's like, what did we pay for?
I think it was just so overly abstract. Like a bucket of nails sitting on a chair. And this isn't me exaggerating. It was literally a bucket of nails sitting on a chair. Like, where is the artistic element of that? What does this inspire? Who is this supposed to relate to?
Well, so I don't know. I can't explain
What's your
that.
professional
Well, I don't have any answers, but I do have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Like, why did it upset you so much?
Yes.
Because I paid like $170 to look at it.
Because you lost money in that transaction. That's
Opinion, yeah. There was
okay.
not an enjoyable experience.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
we've gone to other art exhibits. We did one in Austin where it was like some local artist stuff. It wasn't near as expensive, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, there's no way I could ever make this. This is such a beautiful painting, or like a light exhibit. Like, those things were inspiring to me, and it felt very valuable and felt like a lot of thought went into it. Bucket of nails on a chair, it felt like somebody got high in the garage and like, that's art.
You got scammed. I think he felt like he got duped
So
or scammed.
you felt like you got scammed,
Yeah.
taken.
100%. I felt like everybody there was getting scammed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Emperor has no clothes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, that makes sense to me. I don't know the piece. That doesn't sound terribly interesting to me either. But I do know that sometimes you just have to do it. So like, there's an artist who I look up to a lot named Philip Guston. He painted abstract paintings for a long time. He was kind of part of the abstract expressionist movement with Pollock and de Kooning and whatever. But at a certain point in the late 60s, he started making more figurative art. But it was really crude. Think
like a Picasso journey.
kind of.
Opposite.
But very crude, like sort of like R. Crummish, like cartoony stuff. But he was drawing pretty wacky things like Klansmen and things like this who were like doing normal everyday things. Like walking around smoking cigarettes, driving to the grocery store in their car, but they'd have their hoods on and stuff. And it was drawn in this like really naive, expressive, chunky paint,
That's
right?
funny.
And if you look at the art, it's jarring, and at the time it was probably even more so.
Yeah.
And I heard him talk. There's a film about him that was really fascinating to me. I think it was called like A Life Lived or Living a Life or something, but it was like a 40-minute documentary and stuff. And he said, sometimes I'll paint a clock right in the middle of the canvas and it's not really right. So I'll wipe it out and then I'll move the clock over here and it's still not right. And then I wipe it out and then I'll move it down here. I'll wipe it away. And that damn thing will wind up right back in the middle of the painting where I painted it the first time. I don't know why I had to do it, but I can only suppose that the clock had to make the journey. The clock had to make the journey. And that always like kind of hit me really hard. So like, I don't know if, nails on a chair is good or not, but I do know that it was like a little tiny piece of whatever that artist's journey is. Because if you're an artist or a creative person, really what it is like the spectator is on the shore and there's a boat and the boat's zooming along and there's a water skier behind them and the water skier is doing all of the tricks and flipping and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So when you look at the art, you're looking at the water skier. Yeah. Right? But the artist is in the boat. Yeah. Like the artist has already passed that point. They're like, that's old news, man. I'm up here,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I relate
I'm
to that.
going left
Yeah.
or right or whatever. And so you're just kind of seeing what is in the wake of someone's thinking.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, I really relate to that because we'll do a lot of stuff that people are like, oh, it's so great. And we're like 20 steps ahead of this now.
Yeah.
And there's people like copying our shit now. And it's like,
Yeah.
we did that 2 years ago. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. I think you can't, it's really hard because there's like that lag.
Yeah.
And so, when you say that you think people are more interested in the analog or the hands-on experience because of what technology is doing. I also think it's because you have to go through that process, just like Gustin said about the clock moving around or whatever. Like if you sit down and you tell Chat GPT to draw you a right angle and you print that off, you've got a right angle.
Sure.
If you take a T-square and you draw a right angle, you also have a right angle. But I guarantee you something different happened in your brain in each scenario, and you had to go through a little bit more to draw it with that T-square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. Maybe it's infra thin. Maybe it's a molecule, but something flipped in your head that wasn't there before when you go through that process.
Yeah.
So most likely the thing that you saw that upset you so much, probably because you got scammed and they took your money, upset you because you were seeing something that was just a blip on the way of the person thinking, and it helped them get to wherever they're at now,
Yeah.
which you don't have access to.
Yeah.
You can't see that, right?
Right.
You just sort of see like the detritus or the remnant of
It's like
whatever that
taking
thought
some out
was.
of context in a book or in a video or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense because I do feel like MoMA is more for like the people that are like looking into like someone's like artist journey and like want to know the backstory of this artist. And at that time, like we weren't, and we're not really like that.
Yeah, I had zero connection to any artist there. There wasn't a single name that I recognized.
I feel like a lot of people that go to MoMA probably like know the artist, or it's like an up and coming artist or something. It's more about the journey, like you're describing.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's another way to look at it too, is that if you're making expressive work of art, right, you're the subject. You're the subject, right? And probably the reason you hated that thing so much, aside from feeling fleeced, which is an interesting thing to feel, but I think there was probably some sort of boundary there that you have about what art is and what it's not.
I think there's a boundary for me in life in general. Coming from blue collar, my entire life has been service based. So I have to be able to render value to other people. Mm-hmm. So like what you said, in expressive art, I'm the subject, not my audience. That's never been the case for me. And so I feel like I'm a scam if I'm not providing value to others. But then it's hard for me as, my perspective to see others and attribute value to them if they're not able to
give value
value to me or to others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just coming up with this thought.
Yeah,
no.
As you're telling
We're
me
doing
this.
some deep therapy here.
I mean, I can relate to that. I don't think you're wrong by any stretch, and I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just saying there's something there.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it pushed up against a boundary for you, and you obviously had a strong reaction to it.
Yeah.
But
I did. I was ready to leave. I was like, let's go get a hot dog. This is bullshit.
yeah.
He did not want to go through it. And I was like, I picked the wrong place for us. Like, I'd like to take him back to the Met because I think he would really like it.
Probably so. And then there was other things that are artistic to me. We went to, was it Ellis Island where they had all the immigrants and stuff come through?
That was cool.
I was drooling at the mouth. That place was so amazing to me. And there was an art to it too, the way like they had crafted the building so, they could funnel the people through. And I mean, just everything about it was just really, really engaging to me. And then the Statue of Liberty, we went to the Statue of Liberty, and that was just the most beautiful thing ever. And thinking about like viewing it from the boat versus viewing it from the other shore side versus being at it and looking up at it. Mm-hmm. Like those were types of art to me that I could I could see where somebody put so much thought and effort into this and provided so much value out of it. And that was really easy for me to appreciate.
You knew this more of the story with those, I think.
Yeah, that's the other side too. Is I knew the story. I'm not looking at a blip in time. I know the whole historical past of it up to that point.
I mean, I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think a lot of modern art and contemporary art is bullshit. And I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think a lot of it is not visual in the sense it's more about the context. It's about establishing a certain context.
Yeah.
But I also think it's, not, it doesn't bother me that somebody spent time doing it.
Yeah.
And if I don't get anything out of it or whatever, I'm okay, whatever. I'll just keep going. But I just find it funny. My parents were that way. We would go to museums and stuff. And in a way, I felt like I was on trial because they didn't go to museums. That's not what they wanted to do. And when I was like 20 or whatever, I was like, this stuff's cool. Let's go, right? And we'd be there. And my dad was just like, if it didn't look like something that he could, a landscape or a bowl of fruit or something like that, why the fuck did somebody spend time making this thing? What the hell is this, right? And then all of a sudden I realized like I was on trial for every single piece of art that they hated.
That's how I felt taking him to MoMA. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah. Why did they make this? I don't know. Why is this worth $100,000?
Why did we pay this?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's supposed to be fun.
I don't have a refined enough palate for that stuff, I guess. But then there's other things too, where like we went to Broadway. We watched the Lion King on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we saw Lion King.
And that is something I would never decide to do myself. I was like, that's stupid. And then we left and was like, all right, that's kind of badass.
You loved it. Yeah. It was really cool. I think Lion King is one of the coolest Broadway because of how they do the giraffes and stuff. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God. Take your kids. Go see it. It's amazing.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's
so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. It was crazy. They have people on stilts, but all four are on stilts, legs and arms. And they're the giraffe, and then they have this hat that's the giraffe neck.
Oh wow.
It's wild.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's very artistic.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, I think, to kind of wrap that thing up, it's like whatever moves you and makes you feel something, whether it's extremely good, extremely bad, is worth analysis. The scary stuff is the stuff that doesn't prompt any reaction whatsoever. That's the stuff that I'm like, But if I really, really hate a piece of art, I'll think about it quite a bit. That doesn't happen to me a lot with static art, painting, drawing, whatever.
Yeah.
It happens to me with movies.
It happens to me with movies a lot too.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I can't. What happens to me was adaptation movies where, The Lion King, they made the live action Lion King, and there was things in it, little lines that from my childhood were just staple memories, and then they miss it, and I'm like, this whole movie was shit because you missed my 3-second line that made my childhood for this.
I did that with Lilo and Stitch because they took out the blue punch buggy. And they took out some other key phrases, and I was like, "What the heck?" It was good, but it was just oh.
Well, that's interesting. Well, remakes are a funny thing too,
They are. It's really hard. It's everybody's take from it's different. I heard what's the main guy from Peaky Blinders? I can't remember his name.
Oh,
he also did Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know his name.
It starts with a C.
Yeah, so he was talking about movies, and he said a movie's not finished until the viewer watches it. And I was like, man, that's really enlightening because what you built is not necessarily what I'm going to interpret when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with art, yeah. And same with business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's funny. You just reminded me of a quick little story. I used to have a dealer in Atlanta, art dealer, not drug dealer.
I was wondering, I was going to ask.
Yeah, so there's a reason that dealers are car dealers, drug dealers, and art dealers. There's something in common there. I'm not sure what, but I had a really great dealer, and his name was Bill Bounds, and he was good to me. But I had an exhibition once there, and he was selling a drawing of mine, and he comes over to me and he's like, get over here. You got to get over here. I'm like, all right. So I go over and he's like, this is so-and-so. And he starts telling me about this guy, and he's a vice president at a bank, and he has the most amazing wine collection and blah, blah, blah. And Bill's like, he really likes this drawing and everything. And I was telling him about when you make drawings, you know, you're really focused on this and that and the other. And he spends this yard of bullshit. Well, the guy buys the drawing, right? So that night we went out to dinner, and I'm like, hey, Bill, you know that guy? Like, I appreciate you placing the drawing, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but what you were saying, I don't think about any of that.
Yeah.
And he laughed at me, and he said, you're a typical artist. He said, you think that people buy the art because they see you in it. But the only reason somebody buys a piece of art is because they see themselves in it.
Yeah.
And the faster you get that through your head, the better you'll be.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like he gave me an uppercut or something, you know, but I was like,
he's a sales guy.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
That's what marketing versus art is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like business too, like kind of going full circle to how we started talking about like making for your customer, creating for your customer, and like business is like that. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that and break through that. We all have to have that moment of clarity and have someone, you know, punch it into our brain.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't exist without them.
Yeah.
And you are there to serve them and to help them, I think.
And for me, it helps take out the ego. Because when somebody's like, it's not about you, it's about the client or the customer, it's like, oh, okay. Like it takes the ego out of it. And yeah, it can be, I don't know if you've had this, like an ego death or like experience with that. It sounds like he was like
a what experience?
Ego death.
An ego death. Can you tell me about this?
Like kind of what you were having with him, like him saying like, it's not about you. It's about what the client wants or the person buying your art wants. For me, it humbled me. Yeah.
Then yes, I did have an ego death there, but I don't think it died actually because I still struggle with that sometimes. And every once in a while, Bruce will just be like, dude, it's not about you. Oh yeah, that's right. Thanks. I'm sorry. I forgot.
It is a balance. That's for sure.
You know, it is hard because you know, especially if you care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't, there's not much that I can think of that I do half-assed.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in, I'm all in.
All in.
And if I'm out, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I don't really I'm not really wired to do things halfway.
Yeah.
I really commit and go for it, or I'm just like not interested and I'll never think about it again.
Yeah.
But because of that, I think when I am in, it's kind of like I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure everything goes well.
Yeah.
I always feel that pressure. Like I gotta make sure it goes well. I
gotta read that Let Them book.
Responsibility. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it's great. And I'm trying to do that more and more, you know. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It sounds easy.
Yeah,
but it's not
does.
easy, you know. I wrote a little note on my computer for myself that just says, coach, don't fix. And
that's good.
Every time one of my employees comes to me with a problem, I kind of like look down at my computer real quick and like, okay, get set. All right, okay, here we go. I do not have to fix this.
Yeah.
I don't have to fix this.
Yeah.
And I need that there because my natural impulse is to help people fix it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, you learn that about yourself.
Yeah. Can't do it for them.
No, you can't. They won't get any better.
Yeah.
And you'll wind up getting frustrated.
Right. You just work yourself into that jail cell instead of inviting them into it to help.
Exactly.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. Well, I want one of them to open the door so I can leave and they can stay inside.
Yes.
So, you know, that'd be great.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I keep I'm 53, so I keep joking that you know that show Pawn Stars?
Yeah.
I think in like maybe like 6-7 years, I kind of want to be the old man.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to like drop into Kong like a couple times a week and be
Yeah.
like, how's everything going? I don't want to be as surly, but you know, I want to, you know, check in and stuff. But
Walking around, I wouldn't do it that way.
yeah,
That's
I
our,
could see myself doing that. But I just want to have the confidence
Yeah.
that whatever I built with Bruce
Yeah.
has its own life.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need me anymore. Almost
Right.
like a child, you know, where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, off you go, you know, like
Yeah.
we did our best. It's all
It
up to you
is.
now. And
It's very much like children raising.
I don't know when I'll get to that point, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to that point.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
If you can build something that lasts,
Yeah.
and specifically if it outlasts you.
So
then-
there's another book that I think you'd really appreciate. It's called Turn the Ship Around.
Mhm.
And that's what it talks about with true leadership. A lot of people think a great leader is, you know, when I show up, everything's better. That's not a good leader. A good leader is when you can walk away and leave a lasting legacy and you're
Yeah.
not needed. That is a true leader.
Yeah.
I should read that book. That sounds like a really, who wrote it?
It's that red book sitting right there.
Oh,
You can borrow it if you want. But it's a captain on a nuclear submarine in the
David
Navy.
Marquette.
And he talks about the way that he captains the vessel.
Wow. Yeah, I might take you up on that. That's cool.
One of my favorite reads. It was a required reading for me in a leadership course I was taking
As a boat captain.
as a boat captain.
You're a boat captain?
I run towboats too, yeah.
Really?
That's his career. Yeah.
And so
That's awesome.